We're gonna do a song that you never heard before. The volume.
Hear the drummer get wicked. Here we go again.
It's Kennedy, my brother from another mother.
What's good, bro?
Hey man, a week off, man. What you been up to?
Uh, a whole bunch of everything, bro. Just been one thing after another. But uh, it was, school was starting, so they had like their, we got two seniors this year, so they had one of their senior informationals that they, had to have the parents there for. So we had to go and do that. So that was last week. In the midst of that,
Okay.
car shopping, so it's been a nightmare.
New whip, you got your eyes on something yet? When you
Yeah,
gonna join the pickup truck gang, bro?
never. Ain't never doing that.
All your kids out your house, man.
Ain't never wanted a truck. That ain't never been something I wanted. That's a you thing, bro.
Well,
I'm SUV strictly.
I'm fine. I think now that I've had a pickup truck, I can't go back to anything else, man.
I'm cool on that. I ain't never wanted a truck.
Nah, I thought that's always an interesting thing though, man, because it's always been like a very Texas thing to do that you get a pickup truck though. I think you're like one of the few people that I know that had no aspirations of ever getting a truck though.
Nah, my dad's always had a truck, and I'm cool with that. But nah, it ain't for me. That
Yeah.
ain't, like I said, it ain't never been something that I've been dying to get.
Hey man, we got a few things to get into, man. Let's get that music going there.
All right, let's get it.
All right.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast.
If you
of all time.
smell what the rock. It doesn't matter what your name is.
Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The greatest podcast of all time.
Yep.
And listen, if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe to the Slash Brothers YouTube and Facebook pages. We are live on both platforms at the same time. Whenever you click on the notification, you click on the bell, you get the heads up whenever your boys and Miss doing their thing. It's Kennedy. Hey, bro. So I guess congratulations are in order. I saw that Travis Kelsey and Taylor Swift got engaged, though, bro.
Man, they had to do this right before football season.
And I'm not mad at it, though, bro.
I,
I'm not
I
mad
am
at it.
not. I am not mad at it, but football fans are. They don't know how to take anything outside of just playing football. So that's gonna be. That's gonna. I mean, it was bad enough when they were dating, and we had to see them. They gotta show Taylor's reaction to everything. So it's about to be 4,000 times worse than that, just because now they're engaged.
I think that's the thing I think for me. Maybe it's because I expect for my team to be trash.
hmm
And I think that because we were trash last year, I didn't mind the additional entertainment clips and the value that presented, though, man. So I'm not that mad at it. And if they run it back this time, which I fully expect for it to be the same thing, maybe even more, I'm not mad at it then, though, man. I think that to me, as a fan of just football in general, though, bro, I think that I'm okay with you adding the additional fanfare and the additional eyes for casual fans or even non-fans that Taylor Swift brings. So I'm all for the narratives though, bro. I'm all for all that though, bro. I don't have any problem at all with it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, ain't really affecting nothing for me because it don't bother me at all. But I just know it's just gonna give them fans something else to complain about. And then on top of that, don't let their team be losing. So yeah. Speaking
And
of your team, I see y'all named y'all's quarterback.
I don't even know who our quarterback is. I'm gonna assume it's Spencer Rattler.
It is.
Yeah, it didn't surprise me. And this is the thing. I mean, maybe like I said, I think that this year Spencer Rattler has an opportunity to really show if he is a starting quarterback caliber guy, because I think the big thing is that he clearly doesn't have anybody that he got to look over his shoulder to that's better than him, right? And
Yeah.
so unless this dude, his name is like Shuck, I think that's our guy who we drafted. I mean, unless this guy just for some reason turns out into this thing wonder who nobody saw based off of his performance. I mean, nah. So I don't know. It doesn't. But I got to be honest. I have a negative bias towards Spencer Rattler because he played for OU, and I still haven't been able to get over that yet.
Yeah. I guess the only way he gonna change that is if he win y'all a Super Bowl.
He don't even got to win a Super Bowl, bro. He ain't. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you right off the cuff. You know what he could do to win me over? If just miraculously they go out and win 9 games. Outside of that, though, bro, I'm hoping. And this is the other thing too. I thought I wanted us to tank for that boy Arch,
Hmm.
but Arch is definitely running it back till he's a senior. So listen, I'm cool with us tanking 2 years in a row, though, bro.
Well,
So
he
Rattler as a starting quarterback until Arch Manning is ready.
well, that's the thing. He may be out this year. His dad, who is it? His granddad is the one that said that nah, he's staying for 2 years. And then he came out and said, well, he spoke a little too soon. We're gonna see what happens.
Granddad played for the Saints. He was like our all-time quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be a good look. NFL needs to make that happen. They've made other storylines happen when it comes to the draft. They can go ahead and make this happen though, bro. And it's gonna be by record. So I fully expect, listen, man. I looked at the teams that are out there, bro. And I think that we probably might win 2 games. If we win 3 games this year, I would be impressed though, bro. Yeah, 3 games.
I get that. In other football news, we got to talk about this Micah Parsons thing, bro. I know it's exhausting, but
It's not to me. It's not even exhausting to me, to be honest with you. I'm totally here for it.
all right.
I know I don't have anything else to look forward to for my team. So all of the disorganization and mischief that comes with any aspect, especially with Dallas, I'm here for it though. So nah, I'm not mad at this one.
Okay. So we got the reports early that Jerry Jones was like, nah, I done already offered all of this, that, and the other. Y'all just don't know that I done already offered this, offered that. So he did a podcast with Michael Irvin, and he was like, listen, as far as I'm concerned, we negotiated everything. We talked about terms, we talked about money, we talked about guarantee. Like he was gonna be the highest paid this. And all we was gonna do was submit the paperwork over to his agent, and the agent basically told me to stick that up my butt. And uh, you know what I'm saying? So he's just like, I came off of a lot of stuff. So as far as I'm concerned, ain't no more negotiating. Like it's done. I done already talked it over with Micah, and we good. And everybody's like, but the agent is doing his job because you can't be negotiating that type of stuff with your player when they don't know all the rules and this, that, and the other. And like, nah, it don't work like that.
Right.
And apparently, this is how Jerry Jones gets down. And so he's like, I ain't doing nothing more than what we agreed to. And Micah's like, listen, we talked about some stuff, but that wasn't no formal agreement to do X, Y, and Z. So yeah, you got to talk to my agent. So this is where the standoff is at. What say you?
You know what this sounds like to me though, bro? This sounds like when Jerry Jones, by the time Jerry Jones sat with Michael Parsons and had this conversation, I'm my bet, and I don't know this for sure, but my best guess is that Miles Garrett and TJ Watts hadn't got that new money just yet. Right. And so I think that what they said, what Jerry Jones said, was that basically their deal was that it was going to make him the highest paid non quarterback in the league. Right. Well, now, right, that looks different. That number looks different because TJ Watson already got his money now. Miles Garrett got his money though. So I think that the guarantees and all that other stuff that Jerry is saying is saying, hey, that's what we agreed to. And I'm going to assume that Jerry Jones is expected for him to honor the agreement that they made before the number was reset. And so that's my only assumption though, bro. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not mad at Jerry Jones's position if that's indeed the case, right? But I do what I am mad at is not having a conversation with his agent being privy to it because that's how you prevent stuff like this. But when you say that you negotiated on good faith with the player to make him the highest non-paid player, I mean a non-quarterback player, and this is the number, right? And then that number changes because somebody else resets the market, then the conversation start over then, right? So now you got to top like their number is the bare minimum, right? So I'm not mad. And listen, I'm on Micah Parsons' side more than anything with this one, but I'm not totally mad at Jerry Jones either, though, man. I'm not.
Well, and then of course the last preseason game, they see Michael Parsons laid on the sideline, and so everybody's making a big deal about that. Like, oh, this is not a good look. It's not good optics. You know, knowing that you was gonna be, framed on TV, this, that, and the other. So, the mind games is going. And so if he doesn't sign that, whatever that number was, then the Cowboys can franchise tag him, right?
And technically speaking, the Cowboys can franchise tag him for 2 years. But here's the problem though, right? You did that to Dak already, right? And so my thing is that what does that say to the other players that are on your roster when their deals are coming on up? If that's how you handle the one who everybody thought this is a no-brainer on how this one should be handled. Like people thought that with Dak, right? And they thought that if you think that he might be the guy, then you have an opportunity to get ahead of this and pay Dak 30 a year, but you didn't, and you let him play all the way out through his contract and expected him to give you a hometown discount because he was a Cowboys quarterback. And so he said, nope, you had your chance 2 years ago, right? And so now, fast forward, you got CD Lamb and got his. He didn't have to go quite disruptive like Michael kind of appeared to be. They didn't present it that way. But I mean, you got other guys who are going to be coming on up. And what precedent does that set? If you basically say our guy who's the no-brainer, everybody knows that's this just makes sense. It's like, all right, well, damn. If you do it to Michael, who would you do that to though? So
Yeah, it's the way of the world right now for in the sports world.
and I don't mind, I don't mind Micah laying out doing whatever they catch him stretching on. Not take. I don't care if they get him. I don't care if they got him taking a nap on the sideline. It's just like it's one of those things that you have to do. It's part of the game. It's part of the negotiation to at least appear to be disrupted to even if you are your teammates got to know that that's just a part of the game. I think it's all for show. And I think that in the end, I don't think that even though he demanded the trade, I don't think that Michael Parsons really wants to go anywhere else, though, bro. Um, but I think that he has to at least put on face that he does, though.
Yeah, because he's already removed all the cowboy stuff off of his social media. So yeah. The games are beginning.
And you got to at
Uh,
least show that you're possibly willing to make it look like you be willing to not be in Dallas, though.
yeah. Keeping it in football. Everybody's getting their rosters down, and unfortunately, Silo Sanders got released. He got into a bit of an altercation during the last preseason game. He swung on somebody, and so the Buccaneers released him. Of course, more angles are starting to come out, and we see that he was kind of provoked, but it's easy for the Bucks because it's like, cool, this is just one less person we got to worry about trying to let go. But did you see anything wrong with what he did, or if he had have been? Do you think if he would have impressed them more, would they have held on to him? Like, what's your take on it?
So this is what I think, bro. Don't get me wrong. I think that Shiloh Sanders, Shador Sanders, because their last names is Sanders, they're gonna always be pressed more than any other players in the league, right? It's just I think that just the dynamics of them being on that big platform with Dion and people want them to prove this, they're always gonna be provoked, right? And I can understand from their perspective if they're just saying, "Hey, if you can't show that you have the resolve and the poise to get out of that regardless and knowing that you're gonna be provoked, all right, you know what? Maybe. I get it." The one thing that I did see though from Shallow is that I think that he is surprisingly to me. I think that he can play in the NFL though, bro. Like there are some times where I saw he was getting cooked out there in Colorado, right? And I thought that like him being on the Bucks was just like a good gesture to Dion. But when I kind of saw like a lot of the highlights of him though, bro, I was like, no, he's an NFL player. So I think that he'll end up on somebody's roster, even if it's on the practice squad and getting called on up. But I at least saw enough from him to show that he's an NFL player. Now, there probably are a lot of guys who are just as good that aren't in the league that are waiting for that call up, but I at least think that he belongs.
Okay. Uh, and getting in tune with his brother, so the Browns with their four quarterbacks, they decided to trade Pickett on over to the Raiders and keep uh Shador and Dylan Gabriel, which having Dylan Gabriel still as the number 2 and Shador as the number 3. What do you think about all of that?
I've never been that impressed with Dylan Gabriel, bro. I like we were
Even at
smacking him
Oregon?
around. Listen, man. Okay, this is the one thing I think though. I thought that at Oregon, don't get me wrong. Like, okay, so Oregon is in the I think Oregon is in the Big 10 now, if I'm not mistaken.
No
Are
idea.
they still in the pack? Are they I think let me just double check before I say this right quick. Let me see something here. Oregon, they are in the big I think they're in the Big 10 though, bro. But my thing is this though, right? I'm one of those people that I think that the Big 10 is overrated, right? And I've always thought that the Pac-12 also was overrated ever since Reggie Bush them left. So when he went out there and did and put up some pretty good numbers, I was just like, that's fine, right? But when you was out there at the crib, when you was back there and Texas was out there smacking you around, I didn't forget that. So I'm like, I don't know what happened. What maybe it's just you had a defensive minded coach versus I mean even, not even that. I can't even give him that because Oregon's coach is a defensive guy from Georgia. So I don't know, man. I just think yeah, and Oregon is Big 10. But I think that the Big 10 overall is overrated though, bro. Every year the Big 10 has Michigan and Ohio State as mainstays. And then you always have Penn State as a team that everybody always is high on early on, and they always fall short every year. Count it. And I think that all the other teams, though, man, are just like, yeah, every 10 years they're good. So I think that Dylan Gabriel just caught them in a league. I'm not the biggest. Like I said, I'm not gonna sound like a hater of him though, bro. But I don't know. I saw enough from him at OU to feel like, all right, you know what? Yeah, he did some pretty good numbers, but I don't know. I do think it is interesting though that they have him as the number 2 guy though, right? Instead of Shador. I think that they even though Shador looked better than him in preseason, I think they still want him to work for it because I still don't think that he's naturally their guy, their first choice. So I think that it's just one more ladder that he's going to have to climb through. They didn't cut him, so that's that.
And they wasn't trying to trade him either.
Right. They could have traded him to the Saints and all would have been well, and I would have been back excited for the season though, bro.
What do you think about the claims that Eric Dickerson said that the league was told not to draft him to make an example out of him?
Listen, it looks like it was very much some collusion going on. And I don't know to what degree, uh, but it seems very clear because there's no way that you can tell me that on most experts boards they had him as the number one, no lower than number two guy, right? And some people have him listed as a franchise changing or lifting quarterback. And then just out of now you go round for round for round. Like it would be one thing if you said, hey, we saw something in his medicals that gave us cause for pause, right? We saw that he got a knee issue and the knee is just degenerative and he's never gonna, no, nothing like that on him. For the most part, he has his background checks out clean, kept his head clean out at Colorado, despite all the stuff that was going on. You can't really find anything bad to say outside of the fact that he's a little brash because he's Deion Sanders' son, though, bro. And so I don't know. I don't know what else could there have been. I don't know what the Saints saw in our guy that made them think, oh yeah, he better than Shador.
Right.
Right. I don't know what the Browns saw in Dylan Gabriel to make him think, oh yeah, you know what? He was better than Shador as well. Like there's a lot of quarterbacks that got drafted that day ahead of him. And I'm just thinking, like, nah. So I do think that on some level there was some kind of collusion. It seems very clear. And that's just one of those things that I think that an owner would go to the grave on. Like you'll never be able to prove it, but it seems so clear that it was something.
Yeah. Why you just said collusion and you were talking about going to the grave, but I heard also that John Gruden might have a lawsuit against the NFL.
Well, he already had a lawsuit against the NFL.
Okay.
And they were basically saying this was behind his firing, behind the emails and all that other stuff, though. And I think that they said that his case is looks like he is going to come out on the better on that, though, man. I still think that either way, right? He's done in the NFL, though,
I don't
right?
think he is, bro.
I You don't think so?
No, I think he will come back as somebody's coordinator and he'll start proving himself again, and it's gonna be a little bit different. I don't think it's gonna bury him, bro. Like with the leadership we have right now, I just don't see that being an issue.
I think, bro, that with the messages that were released, I think that that's so much of a toxic thing that I don't know how do you bring that around your team knowing all your sponsorship that you have.
We'll see. We'll see. It
Now,
wouldn't
the
surprise me.
leadership,
I'll say that.
now with this leadership that's in place, anything's possible, right? But I don't know, bro.
Yeah. Bro, let's stay in sports because we got a couple of sports stories. Let's get to the big one and then we'll no, let's go. So we talked some pods back about Malik was it Beasley?
Yes.
So he it was saying that he looked like he was gonna be wrapped up in a gambling thing. And then the feds came back and said, nah, he good.
I still
It
don't
was,
believe it, bro.
I mean, you might not believe it, but I'm saying they say he free,
They said
and
he's free.
and it was right around when he was supposed to get that money.
Listen, man. Listen. I'll be the first. I'm gonna go ahead and say this because I do believe in honor. I would say I apologize because I thought unequivocally, I think I said it right that time. I saw some of the highlights and I went back and saw whole games, right? Watch his game tape. His game tape looks sketchy than a mug, though, bro. His game tape looks like he is out here point shaving. It looks like but with that being said, he was found to be cleared of that. And I apologize because what I saw from my eyes, the feds basically said, nah, that wasn't true. Now, do I believe it? Nah, I still believe what my eyes told me. But he at least, from a technicality perspective and prosecution's perspective, is found clear of it. Though. So for that, I apologize for my position on that.
So with that information, is he gonna get that money that he was supposed
They
to get.
still ain't gonna give him that money though, bro. And you'll know. Listen, you'll know if what the NBA thinks if he don't get that money. If he don't get the money, I think the NBA feels the way I feel about it, bro.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
and,
once
and
your
listen,
name is attached to something like that, it's just weird.
it's hard, bro. It's hard. And listen, and speaking of,
I think you're going exactly where I'm gonna go. Keep going.
okay, so we were talking about that. Since we were last on, did you see the Michael Porter Jr. interview, bro?
Bro, what was he doing? What was he doing? I know Denver was like, whew, whew. Yeah, Brooklyn
Well,
gotta be
listen,
like,
man.
dog, what are you doing?
Hey, listen, man.
That's a person that
I
ain't
ain't
got no
ne-
PR person, bro.
Oh my gosh! But even outside of that, though, bro. Okay.
Hey, do he owe his brother 5 minutes, bro?
Oh my gosh, man. He owe his brother 5 minutes and at least $50 million, though, bro. 50 million that he done made. Here's my thing, though. All right. So two things I have to say. There's a reason why people give you the politically correct statement and they give you the PR response to certain things, right? Because everybody can't speak well. So some people give you that real vanilla. I know you're going to print this. So this is a very corporate, safe answer. Even if that's not how they completely feel, they're going to give that to you. This is the reason why you do that because bruh got up here, though, man, and threw his brother under the bus, unlike I've ever seen, though, bro. And that is my second part to that, though, bro. It's like, bro, the way you threw him under the bus, though, bro, not called for, though, bro. Not called
Bro,
for.
he kicked him under the bus. He got a pole and kept pushing him to make sure he was far up under there, bro. It was so, bro. I was watching them on what is that at 5:30 in the morning, 5:30 a.m. the podcast with what's my boy? Oh my
Jeff
gosh.
Teague them.
Kid
Jeff
from the
Teague them.
Pacer. Teague
Yeah,
them.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, they had me rolling talking about it, bro.
Now listen, not only did he throw him under the bus, they put it in, they put it in drive, backed up over him 3 or 4 times, though, bro. And I just like it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And I was just like, bruh, nah, not your brother, though, bro. Not your
Yeah.
brother. Like, come on. And then the thing that made it the worst part about it is, right, is that even if the brother actually was like, nah, there's some technicality that y'all don't understand. It's not exact and not all your brother just went and confirmed everything, confirmed all your dirt out here for. So I'm just like, bro, like, come on, man. Nah,
Yeah. Yeah. Straight
nah,
whack,
I
bro.
don't know, bro. That was that was some of the worst of it be your own kind example I've ever seen in my life, bro. God dog.
All right, bro. Moving on to another big topic in sports. We both wrestling guys. And Rampage Jackson, his son, went to go visit a promotion that's run by Rikishi, uh, the Usos' dad. And there was a wrestler that came and used a gimmick can and smashed it up against his head. So Rampage's son is an MMA fighter like his dad, and he was like, "Nah, bro, I don't roll like that." So they pull him apart. They was like, "Nah, bro, it's cool." Like, da 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 da. He's like, "Bro, I don't play like that. I don't play like that." So they was like, "Listen, what we'll do, let's squash it. We'll have you do a run in spot, and you'll come in after the match, and slam him or whatever. Boom, and that's your get back." Like they all agreed upon it. Like, cool, cool, cool. Shook hands, everything. And so he's also doing his own filming at the same time that they're running this promotion. So he's got his own camera crew because he vlogs or whatever, whoop de whoop de whoop. So I guess the time for the spot is happening. And on his live, he's like, "Dawg, I'm about to go in there and I'm about to just unleash on him until they pull me off. Like I'm knocking him out. Like I'm going for the gusto." So sure enough, bro, he gets in the ring, reverse suplex him or whatever you want to call it. He lands on his head. He looked like he was knocked out right then and there. But then he gets on top of him and I'm talking, you knew by the second punch, dude was asleep. And he got hit 21 times. They said he was unconscious, that he was choking off of his own blood and teeth. And he was still in the hospital. By Monday, he was still in the hospital recovering. But he got a concussion. And the WWE done released Rikishi's promotion off of their because they go to smaller promotions to pull talent up to come to NXT or whatever. They didn't cancel that. It's a bad look, bro. But Rampage had to come out and reply and was just like, listen, man, I do not condone my son's actions. Apparently, this was supposed to be a planned spot, but yeah, it definitely went overboard. But because I was like, surely this must be staged. But when I seen them punches,
Straight ground and pound, bro.
bro,
Ground and pound, tight fist, though, bro.
yeah, he was out, bro. 21 times, bro.
I thought that I saw at the end of all that when bro kind of got out of it that they had a spot where the dude who was getting stole on had apologized to him because I think that they said that he wasn't quite ready. He didn't know, right? And so I think that that was the big thing. That the guy who got concussed apologized to Rampage's son, though,
Yeah, see,
which
I
is
never
crazy.
Yeah. So that's the thing. We only saw the video of him hitting the head with the can, and then them
There's
kind
a
of like breaking it all up. We didn't see none
Yeah,
of it.
there's an after. Yeah, there's an after. I'm about to see you the video, but there's an after everything happened, and brother finally got his wits from under him and everything. He still was concussed, still looks a little woozy, but he apologized to him because he was just kind of like, yeah, that's what we do. You ain't know, you wasn't ready. That's on me or whatever though, man. But listen, man, I can't. I don't know if I'm willing to apologize to somebody who just pounded me out like that, though, bro.
Yeah.
And the bad part about it is this though. You can't say, well, let's shoot the fade. Let's shoot the fair one then, bro, because clearly he bought that life though. So it's like if you shoot the fair one with him, he already
Hey,
put you out though, man. Like, I
Charlie,
don't know, bro.
what is you doing if you seeing Landon? You watch Landon say he gonna be on a wrestling promotion. You watching his live and you see that happen. What you doing?
I would hope that when in this scenario that Landon is Rampage's son and not the dude who's getting pounded out.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, if he's rampaging, I'm in shock, right? Because I'm like, oh, this is a spot. Oh, this looking kind of real. Oh, bro, ain't move. Oh, he down. Oh, it just kept getting. Oh, he's still punching, and it just kept getting deeper and deeper and deeper. Though, bro, later I'm just like, nah. I don't know what I would think. I would just hope that. And listen, it's easier to apologize when you're the one that's whipping somebody. But when you get whipped and then you apologize, nah,
Yeah, but
nah.
what legal actions is happening though?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know how. I don't see that's the thing about it. I don't know the particulars in that. Like I'd imagine
I'll tell
that
you.
there's waivers that you
Yeah,
sign, and it's yeah. So I don't know.
they are investigating it. Whatever police department is down, they are investigating it. They got a GoFundMe for old boy that got knocked out. Like some of the big time wrestlers have donated. Like Chris Jericho sent some money, but it's yeah, they trying to definitely help him out. So
Now that was up there. Word that made Travis Scott slap look like it was staged,
okay,
like light
well,
fist, bro.
well, and here's the crazy part, right? You know how the reports was coming out that there was heat on Travis Scott and this, that, and the other. Did you watch the Unreal doc?
No, no.
Okay. So on the Unreal doc, Cody talked to Travis Scott like afterwards. And Cody was like, bro, I'm here for it. Like, next time you want to be on, like, I'm down. Like, it's, because he knew that Travis Scott was hyped up and he, the fans was hyping him up. It wasn't anything malicious. He just,
Yeah.
he hit him too hard. Because they even talked about it. It was like, bro, did you hear that? He said, man, I heard it. Triple H and all them was talking about it. But yeah. Like, he was supposed to get beat down, but that slap to the ear, Yeah, Cody talked to him. He FaceTimed him. They showed it, like him talking to him. So
Wow. Well, yeah, it didn't seem as bad after seeing this spot though, bro.
yeah, that was horrible, bro. I thought, like I said, I thought it was fake until I seen when I seen when your palms is doing this right here, when your hands is doing when your hands is is doing this right here and they flat and they just bouncing like
Hey, boy. Oh Lord. Oh my
it ain't
God.
funny, but it is. It was. I was like, whoa. Yeah, it got real so quick, bro. Goshly. Oh man.
Boy, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say about that, man. God, dog. I feel terrible for that dude, man.
Hey man, did you we never did talk about this. I know it's probably a while back. Did you hear about the beef that Life Jennings had with old girl? Oh, dang, I thought you would know, so I would have to look her up.
I know that Life Jennings commented about something like that on somebody recently though, but I don't remember the what behind it though. I don't know if he necessarily had a beef. I think that
Uh
there was a little
what's her name? Moni Love Long? What's
money
yeah,
long, yeah.
Moni Long. So she basically came out and said something like he's some hating ass n-word or something to that effect, right? And so he went and wrote a whole song, bro. He wrote a diss song about it.
I guess, man. I guess. I'm not moved by that. Let me tell you the reason why, and maybe this is the I don't know why.
Hmm.
See, okay. I've been told that I've been caping hard for black women though, bro. Like I like somebody just told me that, bro. I might as well be literally wearing a Captain America suit that got a BW on it for black women, the way that I am defending black women.
Yeah.
It part of me feels biased about this particular topic because Life Jennings is one of my favorite artists I listen to. I've always been a big Life fan. I don't want to even entertain him going back and forth in a riff with another black woman, though, bro. And maybe this is another scenario where I'm getting. And listen, sometimes, man, they make it hard for me to keep the cape on. But I'm talking about, man, it's just wild though, bro. So I don't know, man. I don't really have much to say about it though, bro. I'd rather it not be a thing at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
I do have something that I'm curious to know your opinion on, bro.
What's that?
So I saw that Jermaine Dupri was recently on the Joe Budden podcast, right?
Okay.
And one of the things that he basically said on there was that he was like, in this age, right, in today's time, he was basically saying that there is no space available for like teen music, right? If you are from 10, 13, I mean 14, it's like there's no kid friendly music. Like there's no little bow wows, right? There are no more groups. There are no new additions for people to grow old with, though, right? And there are the different reasons for that and everything, right? That he kind of said he thought that maybe, for the most part, when it comes to the groups, people look at the money and just be like, I can get the whole bag. But I think that the part that is interesting that he said is that right now, right, he was like, he said, when you listen to, you see people out there who are 12 years old, 13 years old, doing the Chris Brown challenge. And it's just like, bro, there's no age appropriate music. And that was like, it seems like for the longest time, with him doing crisscross, right? With him doing Bow Wow, and with So Def in general. He signed the Brat when she was very young. Escape was also very young, though. I think that Jagged Edge a little older, but he was always looked at as like the curator basically of this music for younger people. And he's like, and now I'm doing something else. But he was like, there's a lane that's wide open that nobody is jumping on. But I do think that that's an interesting point, though, bro. Like, why do you think that there's such a wide lane of young people music, right? Like, what is Charlie gonna be listening to in 4 years, though?
Well, I think part of it is because they're not investing in artists like they used to. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm,
you don't have artist development from start to finish because you got to think Chris Cross and B2K and Immature IMX, whatever you want to call them, they started when they were like 11, 12 years old and didn't hit the scene probably till like they was 14, 15 years old. But that's when artists had those type of deals of artist development. Now they almost want you because they're not going to recruit their money like that. They almost want you to have a following. They latch on to you, give you a bigger following, maybe give you a 360 first year deal or whatever. So there's just not a lot of money invested into talent anymore. Like they do have these shows like America's Got Talent or Making the Band that's on whatever that is on Netflix and different stuff like that when they're curating trying to develop that, but they're not putting together like no little boy bands or girl groups or anything like that anymore. So I think
Uh,
it's
so
just, go ahead.
here's what's funny though, right? So the same way how they're looking to say, all right, you know what, they want you to, if they're finding you off of social media, right? They want you to already have a following. Like, surely now, are there just not any you little kids that got talent? They got because you think about it, Justin Bieber when he came on, he was popular right away, right? And I think that he was already kind of putting out content and everything like that. And that's how he got discovered. And I guess what I'm just kind of wondering, like in this age, I thought that it would be easier though, right? Even though you say that they're not investing the time in it, I get that though, right? But I would think that the ready-made kid artist is right there. Like, why isn't he or she there? Like, you finding somebody on TikTok
I
because an LMA, right?
Yeah, I do think that there are artists out there like that. I just don't think they're mainstream artists as of now because you think about all of the talent that we see like on the BT does a very good job of like doing the artist spotlight during going into the
Yeah.
commercials where you
Hmm.
see artists and it's like, oh, now we know who these artists are. So I do think that there are artists like that out there. I just don't think they're in the mainstream light like that. And a lot of the kids are listening to like K-pop stuff. So that is pretty popular. And then even like that girl Lele, right? She's on Nickelodeon, and she started out like that,
Right.
that kid star. So there are artists out there like that, but I do understand, and you like you said, with even within 5 years, who is it gonna be? There's a lane, but music has a way of recycling itself that it comes full circle, and just like I would say, uh fashion. You know what I'm saying? How a lot of the clothes are coming back around. So I think that it's just a phase.
K-pop can be as popular as it is. Surely now you can bring back boy bands and boy R&B groups, though, bro. I thought, you know who I thought? I thought there's like mindless behavior was the last one that I thought that I was like, oh, they were gonna be like the last of the next B2K level, you know what I'm saying? And so they thing just went sideways. There was another trio that I saw. They were pretty young years ago, so they gotta be old now though, man. They gotta be like in their early 20s now, though, man. This other group that I saw. Um and then you got Wanye's kids, right? And they've been around for for a number of years as well, though, man. But I just think that it's still mind blowing to me, though, man. That in what people are expecting to be a very microwave, instant gratification style, that surely now there got to be some young, because that is an interesting thing. Like I'm listening to like even now like the stuff that Landon's listening to.
Mhm.
I'm just like, all right, not. I'm gonna let you slide because I was listening to something that probably was far.
You
I'm not
were.
gonna say worse. It was about equal to it though, right? But even then though, 12 years old, 10 years old, 13 years old, that's still a pretty, I think a pretty sizable gap though, man, for to have a kid that listen that the only option is to listen to grown folks music though, bro. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Speaking of music, keeping it in music. Uh, Lil Nas X still in jail
I never knew he was
after
in
being
jail.
seen walking around. Yeah, bruh. So he was being filmed. He was walking around somewhere in just some tidy whities, and he was just like saying a bunch of random stuff. And so I think they got him for either public intoxication or he might have been on something else. But somebody filmed it, and he ended up going to jail. And of course, like a lot of publications were thinking that it was Cap and that he was, probably getting doing some publicity because of album was coming out or whatever the case may be. But no, he's like still in jail right now. And they said he just pleaded not guilty to the felony charges. But some people are saying he could spend up to 5 years in jail for what he did. I know TMZ have reported on it, the Breakfast Club, but yeah, he was definitely walking around in some tidy whities and saying all kind of random stuff.
I got a question, bro.
What's up?
So you mean to tell me, right? I don't know when you get issued prison. I don't think you get issued oranges, right? And unless you're there for an extended time. So you mean to tell me that he's in jail right now, still in his drawers, bro?
I'm sure they gave him some scrub because yeah, if you're gonna arrest him for that, I would think that they would go ahead and because it's, I mean, he been in jail for a minute though,
How long he's been in jail, bro?
probably since Friday.
He's been, so he got locked up. He got locked up on Friday night. No judges are there over the weekend. So the first time he would be able to be seen is on a Monday, right?
Mhm.
And they just said, nah, bro, sit on down. So you've been over here, though. You spent all day Friday in jail in your drawers, right? Now, look, listen, man. Listen, listen. If that's what if you went, if you listen, if he wasn't on nothing and he just did that, if they said that, what you're exactly where you thought you could have been, right? You thought I'm trying to go ahead and I'm gonna do this antic, I'm gonna make a scene, and it's a possibility that you can go to jail for where you right where you thought you'd be at. I didn't know he was locked up though.
Yeah. He definitely was locked up, bro.
With all things considered, I think that Lil Nas X has been relatively quiet because I haven't even heard the name Lil Nas X in at least 6 months, if not longer, in a year, maybe though. Like, what has Lil Nas X done this year that was noteworthy, music wise or whatever? He
He
would
was on
used to
some
be
award.
good.
Yeah, he was on some award show, either presenting or something. But yeah,
I think he
music.
did the MTV Awards. I think he did like one of the MTV, but I'm just saying, like usually he would be good for like a internet
Okay,
trending.
the last thing he did, and it was probably like a year ago, was when he was a Christian doing Christian music or something like that, and people had an issue with that. Uh, so yeah, that was the last kind of stunt.
Nah, I saw the last stunt I saw Lil Nas X do was when he took a picture when he was pregnant, bro. I almost fell out laughing though, bro. Like he had trolling. Listen, he had trolling down to a science and to a T. And I don't know what happened with that trolling. Like if this is a troll, this attempt here though, man, like all right, this is on the downside of the trolling. But I thought that this sounds like it's trolling though, bro. But I don't know.
Yeah. What else we got?
Oh my gosh, bro. We skipped over this one for sports wise. Speaking of, we're talking about Kansas City, bro. Did you see Tyreek Hill is getting divorced after being married for 17 months?
No, I didn't see that.
Okay, listen, man. So Tyreek Hill, he was married to this chick. Now, mind you, Tyreek Hill, the guy, like everybody always talk about he got all the kids, all right. But he had recently gotten married. And so this is the thing I think that's interesting, though, right? The part that I think that's the crazy part. So his divorce, though, right, is what everybody is tripped out on the terms of it. Because I don't know if he had a prenup or whatever it is, and I don't know what. But again, he was only married with this woman for 17 years, right? And so this man says that Tyreek Hill must provide between $20,000 and $50,000 every month, right, in spousal support. Additionally, she received a flat out check of $500,000, right? Just boom, just to start the sum off, $100,000. She also got $100,000 toward a new car, right? That's separate from the 500,000, right? And then he ended up basically had to pay her legal fees. Her tab bumped up to $457,000. So close to a $500,000 in legal fees he had to pay. So just on those three main things between the lump sum that she got, the car, the money's worth the car, and her legal fees, $1 million right there, right? And then they said that she also has exclusive use of their $5.5 million waterfront condo, right? That went to the girl, right? And outside of that, Tyreek Hill has to pay for everything. So he has to pay for the mortgage, the insurance, all the utilities. He even got to pay the Wi-Fi though, bro. I tell you, that boy that took the boy to town though, bro. And I think what happened though, man, is this. They said that on the 7th of April, one day after police reported an assault in progress at one of their apartments or whatever, though, man, they said that she accused that boy of being impulsive and aggressive toward her. And the police said that they didn't find anything that corroborated that. But yeah, man, they basically said that it was starting to sound like it was starting to get a little aggressive, a little physical.
Mm-hmm.
And man, this boy basically this is the other thing too. They said that they said that the girl originally sought to continue driving Tyreek's Bentley Bentayga, the SUV, and that was almost a $200,000 car. But the judge just said, "Nah, you ain't got to. You can't get the car, but he gonna give you 100,000 toward the car."
Mm-hmm.
Bro, this is my thing. It says one of the biggest disputes, right, is he canceled her debit card after she used it to pay off her student loans and allegedly transferred some money to her mama, right? So it says that the wife testified that she was provided between $20,000 and $50,000 in spending money on this debit card. So she is basically saying, hey, you've been giving me 50 bands a month for spending. I'm gonna need that 50 bands a month. That's what I'm looking for in spousal support, though, bro. And I don't know what kind of prenups and what kind of agreements that they had in place, though, bro. But I'm talking about he gotta be easily, bro. He's got to be putting out. He's gonna pay a lump of a meal right off the cuff. And between the monthlies, though, bro, I guess he's getting off kind of light for the $50,000 a month. I just think of I know that he signed some recent extensions and got some big money, but then it's like, well, what about when he's done in the NFL and he still has to pay these agreements though, man? It's like, bro, you sitting on 80 million is cool now that you're in the league and you actively getting checks though, bro. But when you retire, it's like, man, boy.
I'm sure that they can amend the time, and two, you know, I think that it's probably a time limit on it. Like if she gets married again, maybe it gets cut off.
Yeah, they so what the judge did say though, man. So what the judge did say is that at first the lawyers they were jacking up their prices, their rates, right? So they were saying that she requested more than $1 million for the for her toward her lawyer fees, and they dropped it down to the 457. But they were basically saying that, you know what I'm saying, like the judge was like, nah, y'all out here taxing just because now, no, bro. Really, y'all can sit on this 450,000, though, bro. Um, let's see something here though, man. The only win that he had is that he was able to successfully cut her off on the debit on the access to the debit card, right? But he still got to pay her the $50,000 either way. I guess this way, because she would take some money out, transfer it to the moms. And listen. We had this conversation before. Didn't you say that your mama told your missus she should be putting some money to the side? That's what this girl was doing, though, bro. That's what it seems like she was doing. She was basically saying this 20,000, 50,000. Tyreek said that you would sure send it to your mama. I think the money was like that safety net, that just in case little slush fund, though, bro.
Understandable. I mean, you got to do, especially when you're not the athlete, you got to do what you got to do to protect yourself because it's a potential that some cheating can be involved and you want to leave and, you know, you're accustomed to your lifestyle. I kind of understand it.
Well, this is what's crazy about them and their relationship, right? Is that they say he once filed for a divorce from this same girl 2 months after they got married, though, bro. After the wedding. He said, hey, my lawyer went and filed without his permission, basically. But they said, yeah. You know, we go ahead though, bro. Let me see something here, man. What else they say? He didn't have a lot of stuff going on with this girl though, bro. They got of course he has a baby by her because you know that's that boy do. He got them kids, all right. But I think that this girl is just like an influencer though, bro. I don't think that she may, and I'm not gonna say just an influencer. She might have her own. She might got her own whatever though, man. But dog, I think that it's mind blowing because I just wonder like what kind of agreements you would have had in place, the prenups that you would have had in place before you got married, though, bro.
I don't know. No idea.
Or maybe this is within the prenup, right? These are within the. I don't know, bro. Hey, man, what you got going on for the week, bro?
I told you car shopping, man. Just trying to get this car.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it. And of course, you know, I'm always still tweaking, waiting, and you know, getting ready for the state fair. Which, speaking of which, tomorrow I will be announcing the rules because I'm going to be giving away 2 pair of tickets to come see me and Charlie out at the state fair. So I'm gonna announce the rules tomorrow for the people. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I think that I'm what I'm hoping to do, man, is I'm trying to get back into record mode now that I've been in production mode for a little while. And I think that one of the things that was interesting, I tried to go in, bro, and record something the other day and didn't realize I had my allergies that was just acting up though, man, just randomly popped up. And I sounded so nasally that it didn't even sound good. I didn't even keep the recording. Although I wanted to keep it just to kind of listen to it a little bit more, get it down, and then re-record it fresh. But that didn't work out though, man. But golly, but I'm hoping to get back into the lab. I think I'm finally starting to get it under control though, man. And so I'm hoping to give it a go at it again this week though, man. Plus, I got a couple of other studio sessions with some artists coming on up this week, so it should be pretty dope though, man.
That's what's up. Well, look, man, we're gonna get y'all out of here. We are the Slash Brothers from ATL to OKC. We'll see y'all next time. We out.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast.
Can you
of
dig
all
it,
time.
sucker?